So this teaching was actually inspired by you guys. We're doing the You Asked For It series, and we got quite a few questions from last week, so thank you guys for asking. And tonight we kind of combined a few of the questions. We're going to look at kind of a general area of how to live a Christian life in college, 2 Peter 3, how to live that holy life, how to have a deeper spiritual relationship with Jesus, living a set-apart life and what that looks like, and we're also going to look at temptation. So those are kind of 5 questions that we felt were in the same, I guess, category, and I'm going to try to address those tonight. Now, those 5 questions made it really hard for me to come up with a title for tonight, so I just came up with a very unique title.
Oops.
That we'll look at after this video.
What's your name?
Nathan Anskin.
Tim? Why?
Because you could, because if you want something, you could make it, because he can make like the whole entire life perfect.
You love Jesus. You like it. What does it mean to follow Jesus? Yeah. To be like him. No. Do you love him? And well, what does it mean to be like Jesus? Yeah? He's pretty cool, isn't he? Do you love Jesus?
Living a holy life is walking with God every second of the day and keeping Him in all your decision making
All right, those were some kids and one adult sharing what they thought living a holy life means, and we'll get into that later. So the title for this week's message is How to Live That Holy Life and Have a Deeper Spiritual Relationship with Jesus While Living Set Apart as a Christian in College and Dealing with Temptation. That is what we're going to talk about this week. I couldn't find a simpler way to describe it, so you don't have to put that in your notes. That's pretty eccentric, but that's what we're going to be talking about this week, so I hope you guys get some answers. There's no magic formula to living a Christian life. Everyone has to do it individually. That's how God designed us. It's an individual walk with God. No two people are going to walk the same path. I can share with you my Christian journey, but I can't walk your path for you. I can guide you. The staff, we're here to help guide you, to answer questions, but you ultimately have to live your life with God on your own. So moving forward, the first part, how to live that holy life. And when this question was asked, they specifically asked about it in 2 Peter 3. And after reading that section, I pulled a few verses from there that I thought would kind of sum up the section. So can someone please read 2 Peter 3, 10 through 11, and then after that we'll read 2 Peter 3, 14.
But the day of the Lord will come like a thief. The heavens will disappear with a roar, the elements will be destroyed by fire, and the earth and everything in it will be laid bare. Since everything will be destroyed in this way, what kind of people ought you to be? You ought to live holy and godly lives.
And then 2 Peter 3:14.
So then, dear friends, since you are looking forward to this, make every effort to be found spotless, blameless, and at peace with him.
So that talks about being holy, being perfect. The bad news is we can't do that on our own. We cannot live a holy life by just trying to live a holy life. It's impossible. The good news is we can do it with God's help. Isaiah 64:6 says, even our best efforts are like filthy rags. No matter how hard you try, it's never going to be good enough. But, can someone please read Galatians 2:20?
I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. And the life I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me.
That is the beginning of living a holy life, is when you identify with living with Christ, living for Christ, living with Christ in you. This is the beginning. This is how you understand how to live a holy life. You have to humble yourself to know that you need Christ, and you let him live for you. In order for him to live for you and live in you, you kind of have to kick out the bum that's in you, the earthly person, the person that desires evil, the selfish, earthly loving person. You have to get rid of that person. Can somebody please read Colossians 3, 1 through 4?
If then you have been raised with Christ, seek the things that are above, where Christ is, seated at the right hand of God. Set your mind on things that are above, not on things that are on the earth. For you have died, and your life is hidden with Christ in God. When Christ, who is your life, appears, then you also will appear with him in glory.
This is such a great statement, and this is what my Friday group has been going over. And spoiler alert, we're going to go over this Friday's material a little bit too. But you have to get rid of those earthly desires. You have to stop doing things that are earthly and really fix your gaze on heaven, on God, on things above. Right after that passage 1 through 4 is verses 5 through 10. And that just gives a big list of things that you shouldn't do. Sexual immorality, impurity, lust, evil desires, anger, rage, malice, slander. It kind of just gives an overview of things you shouldn't do. Can someone please read Colossians 3:12 through 14?
Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Bear with each other and forgive one another, as if any of you has grievance against someone, forgive as the Lord forgave you. And over all these virtues, put on love, which binds them all together in perfect unity.
That just gives an overview of things we should do. But I need to stress, doing those things and not doing other things does not make you holy. If you say, if I blank every day, then I'm saved. If I do this one thing every day, then I'll be saved. That's the same as saying, if I go to church every Sunday, then I'm saved. That's not how it works. Doing all these things, keeping track of the list, doing tallies and check marks and cross-offs, does not make you holy. So don't do all the right things for the wrong reason. The one thing you can say that you can put in that blank is if you live for Christ. If you commit your life to Him every day, and if you live for Him and believe in Him, then you are saved. You need to invite Jesus into your life and live for Him. Let Him take over, let Him transform your thoughts, desires, and actions, and submit to Him. That's what He wants for us. That's how He intends for us to live a holy life. What I just went over is a very simplified version. It definitely takes time and effort and patience, and it's very difficult. I can speak from past experiences after living a very earthly life centered on partying and selfishness and doing everything for me. Living for Christ and changing your entire life is pretty difficult, but in the end, it's so much more worth than living for yourself. It really is. And if anyone else has traveled that road, they can testify at how life-changing and how great it is to have God transform your life. But coincidentally, this is how you also grow with Him. So our next section, and having a deeper spiritual relationship with Jesus, is a great segue here. So the key word in this section is relationship. The key to that is communication. You have to communicate with God. You have to communicate with Jesus through prayer, through time spent with Him, through the Word. James 4:8 says that if you draw near to God, He will draw near to you. It's as simple as that. You have to be willing to take that step, and God will meet you wherever you are. And a great example of this is in high school, I had a huge crush on Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift was my girl. And I knew about her. Like, I knew that she was talented. I knew that she was pretty. And I knew that if you make her mad, she'll probably write a song about you. But I didn't know her personally. I knew about her. But I had zero relationship with her because I never talked to her. I never spent time with her. I never communicated with her. That's sometimes how we approach God, is we know about Him. We know He's in the Bible. We know He did a bunch of stuff with Israelites, and there was a flood, and then Jesus died, and rose from the dead. And we know all about that stuff, but we don't know Him personally. And that's what we have to get over, is not just knowing Him, but knowing Him personally. The best way to have a better relationship with Him is to spend time with Him. Now, I know we can't see Him, so you don't have to go around talking to Jesus like He's next to you. But you can do that through prayer. You can spend time with Him by doing things that you think He would enjoy. Worshiping Him, taking a walk. If you enjoy nature, take a walk in the woods and just thank Him for nature. Just spending time with Him, making a conscious effort to say, this is my God time. This is what I'm doing for God. This is how I want to grow with Him. You can learn about Him in reading your Bible. We're going to have Crave, That's a great way to get exposed to the Word. You can listen to Him, listen to what He says. Specifically, the Sermon on the Mount, or Jesus' words. I know in my Bible, all the words that Jesus says are in red. So you can go right to them, and you can see exactly what he says. He is the greatest teacher I've ever had. Anything that I want to learn, I can see exactly what he says about it and exactly what he means by it by looking at what he says, looking at his teaching. And it's a daily walk with him in your mind and by your side. It's a conscious effort. To spiritually grow with him, you have to want to grow with him. The next section is while living set apart. What exactly does that mean? Can someone please read 1 Peter 2:9?
But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, that you may declare the praises of him who called you out of darkness into this wonderful light.
That verse right there sums up being set apart. We are different from the world. God has called us to a higher standard, to a life with him. We are set apart. And a great example of this actually happened yesterday during my break from my message. I was working on it, feeling kind of blah, so I decided to watch previews of movies. I know there's a lot of superhero movies coming out. I just wanted to see, what movies were this summer, what I should get excited for, just kind of seeing what's out there. And I came across some really cool ones, some really, action-packed flicks. And then I came across some really just dumb ones, some really bad ones. And I thought I was so annoyed that people spent money to make this movie, and then to think that people are going to spend money to watch this movie. And I just thought, how on earth was this a movie idea? But it is. It's going to be out this summer. Completely ridiculous. But I thought this movie is so worldly, and I need to stay apart from it. This is definitely not pleasing to God. There is no spiritual value in it. It is completely worthless, and I need to stay apart from it. That's how we have to view things. We all have friends who have hobbies that don't agree with that, and those are things that we need to stay away from. We must set our thinking apart from those things. We are chosen for so much more than things in this world, and that's what we have to really be careful of. We can easily slip into something and not realize it. And we really, like the Colossians verse said, set your mind on things above. We want people to question why we're different, why we're set apart, so that way they are drawn in to what we believe, and things like that. And a point that I wanted to make is we must live like we're set apart. We have to let our lives show that we are set apart. We have to act in a way that's pleasing to God and follow Him in the way that will make us set apart from the world. The next point is as a Christian in college. So I thought, what is college? Well, it's definitely a unique place. You guys are here in this setting. It's got its own challenges. It's got its own unique obstacles. And it can be even more challenging trying to be a Christian and in college. That's almost like an oxymoron in some senses. And I found this neat picture. I'm sure you guys have seen this before. The college student, what I think I do, what my mom thinks I do, type thing. And it just kind of shows all the challenges. Your mom thinks you go to class, but your friends think you go to raves. And society thinks you're super smart. Your college keeps upping the tuition because they think you have a money tree somewhere. And really, a lot of us in college are just stressed and scared of a lot of things. Being in college is hard. Being Christian in college can be even harder. But the outside world from college is not that much different. It's pretty similar in a lot of ways. Colossians 3:11 talks about, here there is no Gentile or Jew, circumcised or uncircumcised, barbarian, Scythian, slave or free, but Christ is all and Christ is in all. So when thinking about being a Christian in college, it's unique, but it's not. You know, you associate with Christ first, as opposed to being in college first. No matter where you are, you're a Christian. And in college, there are those that follow Christ and there are those that don't. And for those that do, it's our job to reach those that don't. It's our job to witness to them. It's our job to be ambassadors to them, whether it's roommates, classmates, or even professors. You know, there's a lot of opposition out there, whether it's atheists, whether it's just people that make fun of your lifestyle. You know, why aren't you out drinking on a Friday night? Everyone does it in college. People that question you, and that's good that they question you because you can show them your set-apart life and how you live. Building relationships with these people is the best way to be a good witness. You can get to know people, you let them get to know you, and you can share your life with them. You can share why you're not out partying, why Tuesday night you're in the TSAR worshiping God. You know, you can share with them your life and why you are set apart. And a great example of this can be found in Philippians 2:15 and 16.
So that you may become blameless and pure, children of God without fault, in a warped and crooked generation. Then you will shine among them like the stars in the sky, as you hold firmly to the word of life, and then I will be able to boast in the day of Christ that I did not run or labor in vain.
Christ didn't put us here in college and made it difficult so that we suffer. He knows that we have challenges. He knows that it's difficult, but He wants us to be an example to this generation, to those around you. You know, you guys are the future. I know that's kind of cliche, but I mean, you guys will grow up to take command of businesses, to take command of industry, to take command of a lot of things, and your influence is what matters. So you guys showing that you are a Christian and showing that you are on the side of good is a very powerful influence. Matthew 10:16 through 20 is Jesus sending out the 12 disciples, and he says, I am sending you like sheep among wolves. You know, he's warning us. There will be a lot of opposition out there. There will be a lot of people attacking you, trying to get you to turn to this world, to earthly things. But he is putting us out there because he wants us to shine like lights around the people that we come in contact with. He wants us to be around these people, and he has a mission for us. So we must live in this world, but not be of this world. You know, this world has a lot of temptations, which takes us into our last point, dealing with temptation. And I say dealing because avoiding is impossible. You will never avoid temptation. It will always be there as long as you're on earth. You know, Jesus himself was tempted. But we can put ourselves in better positions to deal with temptation. You know, you make choices every day that lead you through your day. You know, if I say, I'm going to grab lunch at Deja Vu, I sure hope I don't get tempted. That's a pretty silly thing to say, because that is where temptation is. You know, I can do my best to avoid temptation, but I need to know that it's always going to be there, even when I don't expect it. Jesus dealt with temptation, and we can too. Can someone please read Galatians 5:16 through 18?
But I say, walk by the Spirit, and you will not gratify the desires of the flesh. For the desires of the flesh are against the Spirit, and the desires of the Spirit are against the flesh. For these are opposed to each other, to keep you from doing things you don't want to. But if you are led by the Spirit, you are not under the law.
All right. We are to follow the Spirit, the guiding of the Spirit. You cannot follow God and do earthly things. That is not how God works. Galatians 5:19 through 21 is another list of don'ts, don't do's. Galatians 5:21 through 23 is a list of do's. But like I said before, those will not make you holy. Those will not get you saved. Temptation is not a sin, but acting on it is. There's always a choice when tempted. And God makes this very clear in 1 Corinthians 10:13. Can someone please read that?
No temptation has seized you except what is common to man, and God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, he will also provide a way out so that you can stand up under it.
So there is no way you should ever say, the devil made me do it, gun to my head, whatever. There's no excuse. No matter how big the temptation, you can always break it down into a yes or no situation. You either say, yes, I will give in to temptation, or no, I won't. There are many ways to help deal with temptation. There's prayer, reading scripture. There's a number of ways that can be effective, but really the power to choose is yours and yours alone. And I pray that we all make the right choices when dealing with temptation. I know I have failed with temptation before, and I have overcome temptation. It's a daily struggle, but having that personal relationship with God, living a Christian life helps. I know I went kind of fast through all these. These were kind of a nice overview of the answers to those questions. If you guys have any other questions or you want to go deeper into a certain one, please ask me, ask the staff. The prayer team will be in the back. We're here for you guys to debrief with these questions. We're here to answer any other questions that you have. Crave will be a great opportunity to ask questions or have them answered, so please utilize your tools. Go over your notes, remember what I just talked about, and just seek deeper truth and deeper knowledge. Thanks, guys. Please pray.